All right, we're live. GMGAG, everybody. Welcome to what's going to be another great DevNTell. So, if you didn't know, DevNTell is a 30-minute window for builders to showcase something they're passionate about or have been working on in Web3. This can be an awesome project you've been working on, unit testing best practices, automation goodies, smart contracts, how to structure a project, etc. Basically, got a passion for something, it's your opportunity to share with the Web3 community. And today, I'm ecstatic to have on JP, who is a new member of a relatively new member of Developer DAO, but he is one of the most passionate builders I have met, had the pleasure of meeting. And yeah, welcome, JP.
Thank you, Narv. Thank you for that presentation. It's an honor to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, and it's an honor to have you, my friend. Do you want to give the crowd a brief introduction about yourself before we get into the meat of the presentation?
Yeah, my name is JP. I live in the south of Chile, South America, and I studied engineering, mechanical and industrial engineering, but I always felt as if that was a um, round hole and I was a very not round peg. So I never fitted that system. And 3 years ago, when the pandemic started, I started teaching myself how to code. And since that, I have evolved in that journey of like teaching myself and now using every tool that I find to build. I love building, and it's uh, like I'm very passionate about two things. One is meditation, and the other one is building. And right now, I'm trying to bring both of them into what I'm going to show you. So I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. That's an interesting combination, but I mean, meditation yields quite the clear, focused brain. So that I can dig that. I guess just in the interest of time, do we want to just get right into the meat of the presentation?
Yeah, of course.
All right.
So yeah, when I started teaching myself how to code, I realized that I needed like a framework to push through the hard times and develop that inner fire that makes you want to come or to show up in spite of it being very hard, because when you don't see results it is very hard. And I discovered open source and I was like, wow, I really want to build open source. So I created a framework that I called the Open Source Factory. And that framework, the mission of it was to ship a new project every new moon. So every new moon, I shipped the project, and the next day, I started creating something new from scratch. It was like an antidote to a problem that we tend to have, which is tutorial hell. So I realized that I needed to learn how to build practically, like tools that people wanted to use. And because of that, I created this framework that I called the Open Source Factory, which now evolved into Anky. And Anky is a framework. It's an invitation for people to create, and I have narrowed that focus and given it like a longer time, which is now 96 days. So each season inside Anki lasts for 96 days. And in one of in like in now we are in season 1, and the mission for season 1 is to build a game that is called, well, I call it now, in the lack of a better name, the Writing the Mentor. So it's all about writing and journaling. And yeah, I want to show these slides a bit. Anki is a framework to gamify inner work. Anki is a story, your story, told through games, built in community. And these characters that you see on the background are like the starting point of this story, because
Uh,
in order
oh,
in
s-
huh?
sorry, JP. Are you sharing slides? Because I don't
Oh,
see the share screen.
yeah. Thank you for
It,
letting me know that. Yeah, this is what I was showing you.
All right,
Anki,
there we go. Yeah,
yeah,
we're good.
Anki is a framework to gamify inner work. Anki is a story, your story, told through games, built in community. So these characters that you see on the background are the part of the gamification of this like journey, and this is a NFT collection that I created with Midjourney and ChatGPT, and it consists of 8,888 different characters. And I call these characters are called Ankys. So if you mint one of those NFTs, which are in Ethereum, you will own one of these Ankys. And it's crazy because they all look different, but they all look as if they were part of this world, this story. And the idea of like this framework is to use these characters as part of the games that are being developed. So the first game I will show it to you here. It's live and it's all about writing. So it asks you, are you ready to be a writer? Start journey. You have to log in with an email, whatever email you want. So you log in. You can also log in with your wallet, but my mission is to onboard people to Web3. So without them knowing that they are using the blockchain, like the mission of Anki is to make the blockchain invisible. So here I'm logging into the platform and now I'm logged in so I can go to the notebooks. And you can ask, what are the notebooks? And this is part of the framework that is being developed here on like this game. So you as a person that participates in this game will be able to create a notebook, for example. So you go here and you add a new notebook. You have these templates. Here is the title, the description. You can bulk import, entering questions or prompts separated by commas. Here are the prompts that your notebook will have. Think of it as a journal. On each page of the journal, there is a prompt. So when you create a journal for inviting other people to write, you can add the prompts to that. So what I did here was to ask ChatGPT to create a list of 12 questions, and I will enter it here, like bulk import it, and here they are. So you see 16 questions. And you can set a mint price for the people to come and buy these notebooks. And so, for example, let's say that this price is 0.005 ETH, and the supply of notebooks will be only 10. So, only 10 of these notebooks will be able to be created or minted by people to write on them. And before you start writing, these notebooks are ERC 721 tokens, so they can be transferred between people, and this creates a market for these notebooks, which makes it interesting also. So you create the notebook template. Here you review it. Minting price 0.005 ETH, supply 10. The people that mint this notebook will be invited to write on it, confirm, and create it. So this notebook is being created. Now you confirm the transaction, which is a very cheap transaction, but you need to pay because this is being recorded on the blockchain. And this creates uh, the possibility for people to come and buy these notebooks. So you visit, this is the page that you will be able to share with people. So you will say, hey, friend, I created a notebook, and this is the page where you can mint it. And you will send a link, and they will get here. Here you can say, you can see 10 units left. 70% of what you pay will go back to your wallet as credits for using here. This is part of the mechanism for onboarding new people. So they will pay with credit card for minting here, and then they will get part of the fee that they paid. 70% of this, they will get it back on their wallet as ETH that they will use for submitting these transactions when they write their notebooks. So that I'm working on making this more invisible, but for now, this is your notebook. And you come here and you see the prompts. And for example, you answer prompt 1. And now we enter the interesting part of this, like this system that I have created, that is the mechanism for writing. So for example, here you see, describe the moment you found out you were going to be a mother. This notebook is created for mothers. So the idea is, okay, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to start writing, and I will write for 400 seconds, for example. So you start writing, I was there, and I realized that if I stop, you can see this bar on the top. If you stop writing for more than 3 seconds, you lose. See? And if you lose, like the mission of this is to trigger your subconscious to write a stream of consciousness without thinking. So now you save what you wrote, and it will be stored in this notebook that you minted before forever on the blockchain. What is happening on the background here is that your writing is being sent to Airwave. Airwave is a decentralized storage system that is designed to last forever. So inside your notebook, there will be pointers to each one of your answers to each one of these prompts. All done. And now, yeah, this didn't work properly, but you can answer the second one. Second one, you answer it, and then save text. You go through the process again. The idea is to make this as invisible as possible, but right now this is what works. And yeah, so here you can see what you wrote. I'm working on this. You can see here, I shipped this last version 18 minutes ago. So of course it has bugs, but that's part of the game. So we have the notebooks on one side, and we had the eulogias on the other side. What is an eulogia? It is a notebook that is written for the community. So for example, the title of this is Developer DAO. How has Developer DAO impacted your life? Pages 33. That means that 33 people will be able to write in there. Let's choose any cover image. I need to work on this. Confirm and create. And there was an error, of course. But you get the point. So the eulogias, I hope they will work here. I think there is no. I just shipped the last version of the smart contract also, but the eulogias are like, for example, Narv creates a eulogia for developer DAO, and each person that comes to write on that one has a page in that notebook, and they will come and write about what Narv proposed. Like the goal for that is, for example, when someone has her birthday, so you can send that notebook to people and they write on that notebook, and it will be stored forever as an ERC721 NFT that is stored. This is something that I forgot to mention. When you sign up for this system, you are airdropped an ERC6551 NFT, which is your Anky. So your Anky is the keeper of your writings on this system. When you see like this image on the background here, this is your Anky.
Sorry, JP. The screen share dropped.
Okay.
Just a moment ago. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So when you go to the landing page of here, you see this character, and this is supposed to be your Anky, which is the keeper of all your notebooks, which are NFTs. So this is the system. This is your Anky, which is a ERC6551 NFT. This is already implemented on the system. So when I created this account, it automatically generated this Anky. And each time that I mint a notebook, it is stored inside that Anky with the functionalities that ERC6551 allows. So yeah, I think that is what I have until now to share. Um, yeah, I love this way of writing. I use it as a meditation practice every day.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I think he pressed the leave. 1 second while we get JP back on. There you go. Yes. We had a kiss of the Fridays. All good. All good. Yes.
Sorry, too much excitement.
Yes.
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, this is a very, very interesting concept, and it looks like you've added quite a bit of functionality on top since the first time I saw it. So, if people don't know, I actually met JP in real life when we were both at the Build Space IRL event a few months back. And back then he was uh, just starting with Anky, but he had like a decent prototype going. And I actually went through the process of going through that, let's call it focused writing. And it's harder than you think, because your mind is always trying to stop and make you think about life in all these different areas. But it's actually quite challenging to just write whatever as a free flow stream. But yeah, I guess, what was your inspiration behind the name Anky, and uh, the actual NFT images? Like, was there something that inspired you to go that direction, or was it just a spur of the moment kind of thing where you developed one, you're like, oh, this is really cool, so I'm just gonna keep going on that?
Yeah. It has been like a well, the name Anki is because before like this specific prototype or this game, I had the mission of actually in that season of Build Space, my mission was to create an app for tracking your capacity for being consistent. And the idea was to gamify consistency. And I submitted the idea in the ApeCoin DAO, and like the only person that answered to my idea, his name was Anky in there. And that's why like the name is Anky, because of that person. And like these characters, they are a consequence of when I was going through the process of building that app, I realized that I needed an interface to talk to people so that they could come and be consistent, you know, because it's like if I speak as the app, or like the app speaks to the user without a story in between, there is no like internal driver for the user to come back to the app. But if instead of the app I create a character that is called Anki, that the mission of it is to create a bond between the user and the app. So it's like a interface that acts as a story that makes the user wants to come back to speak to his Anki, or to talk to his Anki, or to develop the personality of her Anki. Like each one of these characters that you saw is the Anki of a person in the future. Like, and the idea through this story is to develop that relationship between the person and her Anki. And like the image that I have of the Anki is that it's a representation of the inner child of people, and that's what I try to bring through the story, and using storytelling as the tool for that.
Interesting, interesting. And do you are these Ankies kind of like once they're minted, they stay the same, or as your end users kind of go through their journeys through Anki, will their characters kind of evolve as they evolve?
Yeah, the mission, like what I would love to do, I don't have the capacity for doing it now, but each one of these characters has its unique lore. Like the Ankiverse is the world on which this story unfolds, and it has 8 kingdoms. Each kingdom has 3 cities. Each city has its particular resource, and there's a lot of lore that Anki has, and like the idea is that what I dream about is that each time that you come to write, your writing is processed into something that transforms the story of your Anki in the Ankiverse. And I have a person targeted as the CTO of who will like I know who I want to build that system for, using AI to process the writing of people and transform it into the story of their Anki inside the Ankiverse. But right now it's impossible, and I mean for me. And this project is all open source. So one, if I had to say which is the biggest challenge that I have right now from this project, is to cease to be like the only person that is in charge of it and put it in the hands of a community. And like that is what I want. I really want this to take life of its own, but right now it's hard. There is only one person that has pushed a pull request on the repo, and it was a great moment. After building open source for 3 years, like someone doing a pull request was like, whoa. But it's
That's
open.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on that same note, if people who are watching today want to help you build the this Anki universe and continue iterating your project, how can they best reach out to you? How can they get started?
I mean, the most straightforward way is github.com/ankilat. That is the GitHub repo. Um, like I welcome any kind of input in the project. There is no boundaries into what I see this transforming into. I believe Anki is a meme. It's an idea that can spread through the power of people realizing that it is a representation of their inner child, of like their soul. For me, my Anki is my imaginary friend that I had when I was a little kid. And my mission is to bring that into the heart of people so that they can build from there. And who knows what this transforms into, but that's for the community to decide,
100%. And for the crowd, I've dropped the GitHub link in the chat, but I'll also add it to the YouTube description as well. So if you're interested, definitely give it a look. Look, see, JP is a great person looking to build a great project here, and he's very easy to work with from my experience. So give it a look for sure. We do have one question in the chat around licensing with Midjourney. Like how have you been able to get around that, or what's your strategy around that?
I mean, the Mid Journey. licensing terms is that if you create an image with your account, it's yours for you to do anything that you want with that image. And the service that I used for um, creating, like, Midjourney doesn't have a open API, but I used Imagine API, which is essentially a system that creates a Discord robot, a bot in Discord, for you to be able to queue Midjourney prompts. So I spent like 10 days prompting Midjourney as crazy using this system, but everything was under Midjourney's terms because it was done through my account. I was not like cheating the system. I was using a tool for prompting Midjourney under their terms. And part of those terms are that once I create an image, it's mine for me to do anything that I want with it. And this is a consequence of that.
Gotcha. And just curious, how long did it take you to get the prompt just right so that it would create like the same style of character? I'm sure that took a while, no?
Mm, it was not like that long of a process. Like, something that it always brings joy to my heart is like this, doing this. This is my Midjourney account, and I'm going to show you like the moment on which I discovered that this was something that could be done. Like, I created the system for generating the Ankys. Actually, when Narv played in the build space in real life, I think this is the one that you got, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was that one. Really so
Yeah. So here you can see Donald Trump kissing Pepe. But
nice, nice.
so this was the first time that I created Anky. This image that you see here is the seed for all of the other ones. And once I created this one, I sent to Midjourney this image, and I asked it, um, like, for the a cartoon smiling, and I was like, wow, this looked very similar. And that was it. You can see here that between this one and the other ones that are like the Ankys, there are like 8 images, so it was pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, they all look like they have their own little story behind them. So uh
Yeah.
looking forward to you building out that universe here. Unfortunately, we're coming close to time. Just quickly, for folks who want to reach out to you directly, what's the best way for them to do that?
Through Twitter, I'm at kithkui there, and I don't know how to send it in the chat. Maybe no.
I'll share that
Yeah,
with
I'm
folks.
I'm
Yeah,
most active on Twitter now. I'm exploring in Farcaster also, which is an open protocol, and I love what is happening there. But yeah, Twitter and Farcaster are the places where I explore the internet.
excellent. And that's where I spent most of my internet dwelling times as well. Uh, but yeah, I just want to say thank you so much, JP, for coming on and showing your project. It looks very interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing it continue to develop out as the story and lure and functionality continues to get added on here. Um, yeah. And just before everybody leaves, I want to share with you the QR code to scan for claiming your attendee NFT today for coming on DevNTell. So one thing to note is these NFTs are on the base protocol, so they don't show up in Etherscan if you're looking for them. So they're on base. Just FYI. I know Brian had a issue with that, but just want to clear that up for folks who might have a similar issue. But essentially, what you want to do is scan this QR code with the regular QR code scanner. You'll land on the form. If you can fill out that form, within an hour and a half's time, you will be airdropped a NFT for being an attendee today within the next couple of days. And JP, you're free to fill this one out as well. But I have another form for you to fill out that'll give you a different NFT. But yeah, like I said, you got 1 hour and a half, folks. And with that, just want to wish everybody a very happy Friday, happy weekend, and we'll catch you back here next week. All right, gang. All the best.
Thank
Cheers.
you. Bye bye.